Hello and welcome to Beyond Reason, a podcast for awakening souls, where we chat and have discussions about the in-between and far beyond. I'm Clare Rowley and
I'm Marguerite DeSelms.
And we like to do what at the beginning of every episode?
We like to look at what the card is for the day to help guide you and navigate through your day. Shall we begin?
Oh, there's 4 decks out here. Which one are you going to start with? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
It's whatever the spirit moves me to do. So we'll start with the Marguerite Tarot here, and it's 6 of Cups. Now, 6s are numbers of harmony, and Cups is the heart, and it's the people in our life. So it shows that the audience out there is actually drawn to us, the 6 of Cups. So I want to encourage you. This card tells me to encourage everybody to think about their family. These are the holidays.
Are you guys drawn to us? Because isn't that what you said? Everyone's drawn to us.
Yeah, because 6s is harmony and cups, and this is past life. So past life experiences.
And is it like celebrate? Because there's cups. Celebration.
Sure, absolutely. Well, cups is the heart. It's the emotions. It's water. So when it's a 6, it's harmony, and this has a lot to do with the past lives and our childhood and other lives beyond. And also, it just shows that where many people are thinking about their family, their friends, whatever's important to them, what kind of people have been in their lives, and possibly people coming back into their life and reunions of that type. Shall I pull another card?
I think so.
Okay, so then this is the energy cards, and this is hostilities. So some of you who may be experiencing the dynamic of families having arguments,
Disagreements.
Oh
no, we have to go to Christmas at their house?
Oh no,
no.
We can't talk about politics. No, we can't go there. So that's happening a lot with people now today. So just agree to disagree, y'all.
And end with I love you even though.
Yeah. Easy breezy.
Because time passes and it'll just be a faded memory and you'll still have your family when it's all said and done.
Hey, there's a reason why we incarnated into the family that we did. I believe that we picked them, that we chose them.
Of course, because we chose our life before we came in, right? And she's going to be talking about charts.
Yeah, astrology, Vedic
for those
astrology.
of you who are interested in that. And I thought I knew some of it. Now I don't think I know any of it. So,
well, it's funny how Claire just comes off the top of her head and says, "You're very Pisces," and I'm like, "Wow, that's my current chart today." That's amazing how you're able to pick that up. She looks at a chart
and she can analyze the chart, and I see a fish flying over her head, and it shows as a Pisces.
Right. So in Vedic astrology, there's many charts for every situation. And so she always picks up my second half of life chart, which is called the D9 in Vedic astrology. And I'm have strong Pisces energy. So she picks that up. So it validates for me.
So she's sassy and she gets a little bit, impatient and wanting it now.
Or yesterday.
Yes.
Let's look at the next set of cards, shall we?
Yes.
Okay, so this one is body talk. So pay attention to the body language of the people around you.
In my head. Let me hear your body. Was it Olivia Newton-John?
Oh, was it body talk?
Was it body? I don't know. Do you guys know? If you do, write it in the comments.
Yeah, please do. Anyway, pay attention to the body talk of the people around you. What they do with their body says everything about what they're thinking. So, Claire, what am I thinking now?
You're hungry. Ready for some Indian food.
Oh, I think that's a projection.
Yes, it is projecting because I've been fasting for 94 hours and tonight we're breaking my fast.
Woohoo, with some nice spicy Indian curry.
And fasting is great for spiritual connection.
Oh, right. So you're really on right now, aren't you?
I am. The spirits are in my head.
Okay, let me pull a playing card.
Because I'm a psychic medium and a medical medium.
Oh my goodness.
And we are buddies.
Yeah,
so we decided we have so much fun talking to each other and we think we're really funny.
So we wanted to just share that with y'all too.
We thought you might find that you agree with us. And if you don't, that's okay.
Because we can all agree to disagree. So anyway, the Six of Clubs is the John the Baptist card. It's the very spiritual card. Six is a very 3, 6, and 9 are spiritual numbers, and 6 is one of harmony, and clubs is mental.
That's the card I told you to pull last night.
Oh, it was the Six of Clubs. Oh, really?
It is, yeah. So what does that mean that it showed up last night and today?
This
Does that mean something about today?
Yeah, that means that we're on a mission to share our knowledge and our divine downloads about what needs to be heard by whoever's drawn to this podcast, because we have a message and we have stories and we want to share it with y'all. Why should we keep it to ourselves? That doesn't make any sense.
Lots of stories.
This is preparing the way. John the Baptist prepared the way.
And another goal that we have is to kind of normalize this, because everyone is born with some intuitive or psychic abilities, and then you forget. And a lot of people get freaked out, especially when I do spirit stuff. And it's just lovely. You have teams of spirits just helping guide you through your life. And we want to make sure that you feel warm and fluffy about it and not scared and edgy about it.
Absolutely. I mean, what for? We were all here for a purpose, and my creator is full of love and compassion and mercy, and
just like a dad would love his children, or a mother.
The right kind of dad that not all of us experience, but that's the reality. So beyond reason, what does beyond reason mean to you, Claire?
To me, it means we can talk about just about anything that you may argue with other people about, feel uncomfortable, considering, like aliens.
Yeah, aliens, ETs, extraterrestrials.
If you have seen a UFO, now they call them something else. What are they calling them?
I think UAPs.
UAPs, unidentified something.
Aerial phenomena.
If you know the answers, feel free to put it in the comments. We don't mind you telling us
to correct us, absolutely.
But I did at 16, a big giant one the size of a football field appeared over Pierce College in California when me and my friend Tammy, who is now in spirit, we were sitting watching or just talking, and all of a sudden this big orange light just appeared, and it hovered and sat there over Pierce College for, at least like 10, 15 minutes.
Where's Pierce College?
In California, in the San Fernando Valley.
Oh, yeah, everything happens in the valley.
So for me, that made me open-minded about the possibilities of extraterrestrial, that's hard to say.
ET for short.
ETs.
Yeah.
What about you? Do you have a story?
Yeah, I do have a story. In about 2000, I think it was 2004, when I was living in Glendora, I had this dream.
Is that in California?
California, thank you. And I had this dream. I was walking along the sidewalk in the city. All of a sudden, this spaceship, like a anti-gravity ship, the size maybe a little bit bigger than a car.
And we're talking long before drones.
Or that we knew about.
Yeah, I mean,
and I could have cared less about ETs or UFOs. I mean, that was not on my mind at all. And all of a sudden I have this dream, and then this anti-gravitational ship pulls up alongside of me with two beings in it. And they didn't look like grays, but they looked like humans, but they were white and they were tall, like the tall whites maybe. And they didn't have any hair. And they tried to get me to go into the ship. And I was, I'm fresh from this movie about ETs that are evil.
ET? Oh, what was it?
The evil. What was it called?
I never watched any of the scary ones.
I think it was called Alien or something like that.
The one where the thing comes out of the belly?
And so no, not that one. And so you destroyed them by throwing water on them. And so that was fresh in my mind in the dream, I guess.
Reminds me of the Wizard of Oz.
No, that's not. No. No, this was like what
if you know the name of the movie, put it in the comments. We'd love to hear what you have to say about it.
So anyway, they tried to get me to go into the ship, and I was fighting them, and I was like, no, and I was fighting for my life.
Me all the time. No. I want it now.
It is fun.
Hurry up. Come on.
Well, anyway, so I So I kept fighting them, and they kept trying to get me to go in the ship, and I threw water on one of them, and they finally gave up and said, okay, we're going to let you stay, but you need to know that you do not belong here. And then the dream ended, and that's what I remember. And
well, that leads to dreams. We could talk about dreams too.
that was crazy. And so I went to the Conscious Life Expo, and I talked to people about that dream, and they said, oh yeah, it really happened. It really happened. And so I think it really did happen.
Yeah. Do any of you actually have memories of being transported into a ship? Share your story in the comments.
Yeah, and after that, I had more recurring dreams about like being in a skyscraper or tall building, and there was always this blue woman there. Blue, their dynamic blue eyes, blue clothing, and even blue hair, and she was always around. But several dreams where I was in a skyscraper, and then it tipped over and it turned into a ship, and there was windows.
Oh, how it's like the Transformers.
Yeah, you could say that, and I love those Transformer movies.
I wonder if the creator of that had a similar experience that inspired that.
Probably.
I love the Transformers.
Well, I heard James Cameron had the dream and a download about the movie Avatar.
Oh,
right?
No surprise. Boy, was that.
Hey, you guys,
That's
they're
so
communicating.
celestial.
Pay attention to your environment.
That's how I ended up in Arizona. Because I had a dream about an earthquake, and not my first dream. I had lots of dreams. That's one of the things that
Which
happens to
earthquake?
me. The 1993 Northridge earthquake. And,
That was 94. January 94. I'll never
well,
forget
in
it.
1993, I had the dream.
Oh, okay.
And then I dreamt I couldn't get to my children, and there were big chunks of concrete just everywhere, and I couldn't get to my kids. It was awful. And because I had already had a lot of dreams in my life that came true, my husband at the time and I decided we were going to get the heck out of there. And 4 months later, that's when the Northridge earthquake hit.
January 94.
Yeah.
I was in Gardena,
You're the
California.
date keeper. She's the calendar keeper, the date keeper.
You have
I
to
have
be.
visions. I have visions of her with a bunch of calendars floating around, and she grabs them and does something, and then she puts it back.
That's my life. Well, doing astrology is like you're reading a timepiece, a clock, a map, a blueprint of your life. So
It's a lot.
it's, yeah. So
I look at the chart and I'm like, and she goes, "Your K2's on your
Saturn.
and I picture like a
I don't know.
K2 like reclining on a chaise lounge, sitting on top of somebody else. It's like another language for sure.
It really is, definitely. But I don't know if you want to disclose to everybody your astrology chart, because a lot of Vedics, a lot of Hindus will never disclose their birth date, because your birth chart, your horoscope, it discloses everything about your life.
I'll
So
tell you what, I thought I knew a lot about astrology because early in life, around the age of 14, when it came into my focus, I started thinking, I'm going to prove this does not exist. So then I started asking everybody I knew when they were born, and then I observed them, which probably wasn't fun to be observed like that, but I did that my entire life, and I all I got from that is definitely something to it. It's definitely real. And then I met her, and I found out I didn't know anything because she's Vedic astrology, and I learned Western astrology.
yeah.
So
Yeah, Vedic astrology is based on the actual position of the constellations in the sky, in space, and Western astrology is based on where the seasons year round, where the sun is. So when people say, "Oh, are you a Leo? Are you a Virgo?" Well, they're thinking about the sun, but our chart is way more than the sun. There's 9 planets, and we are looking at all of that, and it just goes deep. Many layers to Vedic astrology.
I always thought I was a Capricorn, and then she told me I was a Leo, and I was always running away from Leo men. And now I'm a Leo. I'm like, oh, I know nothing. I know nothing.
Yeah.
It's so exciting too, and that the chart is like already there. And I was shown that your guardian angel is there with you when your life you design your whole life, and you get to like almost like it was like a playing like a table of cards or decisions, and you can decide this or that, and then you and your guardian angel work it out how you want to do it, and then you come in together into this world. And that's why the chart is already here And it may feel really weird to you that, why is this chart saying I'm going to hurt my knee this week? And you do. And you do.
Yeah, Mars was doing that for you.
I had all kinds of, I
Yeah.
started freaking out a little bit about the chart. So they showed me in a dream how the chart works and why it's already there. And that doesn't mean you don't have free will. Your free will was before you came in.
Yeah, and
You got
it's
to
funny that
choose.
you had that
That was night
that
before last.
come to you. That was a dream?
Yeah, it
Was that a dream?
It was a dream night before last.
Yeah, because I've always believed that the horoscope it's a blueprint of our life, and I always believed that we sat down with our Creator, and
Which is
Creator said, "Okay, what do you want to accomplish in your life now this time around?" And so we sat there and planned it together, and says, "Well, I want to learn these lessons, and I want to have these experiences," and that's what the planets are and how they're laid out in the sky when we're born.
And one of the really good things about getting your chart done is finding out what it is that you talked about before you came in. So you can find out what your strong points are and try to piece together what it is you're supposed to be doing in case you aren't on your path.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The nodes of the moon tells us what our past life is like and where we're supposed to head, what direction we're supposed to head in the current life. It's fascinating.
Do you feel like you're on your life's path? Or
Well, I'll tell you what, doing this podcast is definitely what I've been supposed to be doing for a long time.
And I've been being yelled at by spirit. Podcast. And write this book. Design this game. Do you ever feel demanded to do something by your thoughts? That is probably your spirit guide, or could be your guardian angel.
And it's the
And your own
grahas,
soul.
or the planets that pull on us to go in a certain direction. That's why in Vedic it's called graha, the planets pull on us. So anytime you feel an urge to do something, to go in a certain direction, pay attention to that. And when you do follow that, notice how things fall together very easily as you're moving forward in that desired
So you don't
direction.
fall on the ground because you're looking at a butterfly like I did. Do you ever get distracted by life? And
All the time. Oh my gosh.
so it's kind of nice to have a blueprint to follow, but you're still going to get distracted by life.
Oh, I tell you, I don't make decisions without looking at my chart, you know.
She's lucky because she can look at her chart and know what the heck it means.
I can see what
I look at it and I'm like, okay.
I can see
And she
what's
goes, look, and look at that. This is on top of that, and that's over there. And then I'm like, what's the square that doesn't have anything in it mean? What is it? I need to know this.
You mean the house?
The one that, I don't know, there was like
Yeah.
a piece of pie that didn't
The
have
piece
anything
of
in
pie
it.
in a circular chart is the house, and the Vedic astrology uses the whole house system, which is 30 degrees of one sign, and it's always in one house.
But if
Whereas
there's nothing in there, what does it mean?
it just means that that's the category of your life. So, for example, if you have Cancer in the fourth house, that means you're an
But
Aries
there's nothing
rising.
in that house.
But we always look at the ruler. So the ruler of Cancer is the moon. And so we look at the moon and where the moon is going, and it goes in a certain house.
So are you saying
which
that
is a
that
category.
pie, that piece of pie that has nothing in it,
Yes.
is affected by the other?
It's ruled by a planet.
And where is that planet hiding in the chart?
We go and we find it. We go and we look for it.
Does it sound like a little bit much to any of you? If it does, this is why it's good to have a friend that knows it.
Yeah, because I always report to her what's going on in her chart. Where's the moon, like on a daily basis? We want to know where the moon is so we know what kind of activity is good for us to focus on, because that's when everything will fall together easily. So
she's got my chart in her head and I have her body in my body. So if she doesn't eat something that she's supposed to eat, I feel it, and then I go, did you just eat sweets?
I can't
Did
get
you just
anything
have pie?
past her. Oh my gosh, I can't. It's like busted all the time. Okay. Well, yeah, Claire has helped me so much with my health and my eating and what I shouldn't eat and how to fast and
We support one
how
another.
to do intermittent fasting and why I don't want to eat carbs all the time. But anyway, yeah, so she's very good as a medical medium. And
Okay, all
when
right.
when did you start your medical mediumship? When did that come to you as
I mean,
a
birth?
strength? Oh, from birth.
Well, my father and grandfather were inventors of medical stuff. And my grandfather did medical research on dental and x-ray. So I had that influence in our DNA of medicine and research and trying to figure out why this happens and stuff like that. And I went into nursing, also wanting to help people at a very young age, 13, lying and saying I was 16.
Wow.
And
she'll go to any length to work.
Stayed in that for like 5 years. And so there's never a short story with me, but
not with you. Nope.
My father and I would share medical journals and debate all the time throughout my life, but I also just would feel a certain way, and the empath part of me. And then I would research to find out why. And then I have a collective of doctors in spirit, and they download. You were mentioning downloads before. I'll go to sleep and I get a download of all the different things that can affect that particular condition within someone's body. So
wow. Yeah.
It's not me with the answers, it's them, and they give me the answers, and I feel very blessed.
When did you start getting the wet lip experience?
God, that's my dad's fault. So I always had this little twinge of insecurity on whether or not I was right. And my father passed a few years ago. I should know the year. But to me, he's more active than he's ever been in my life. He's constantly around me in spirit. And so one of the things he did was he gave me a touch, spirit touch is what it's called, for yes and no. And yes feels like a wet lip. It feels like I have oxygen in my nose, and it's cooling my upper lip. So
maybe you should call it a cold lip instead.
Well, it's uncomfortable and awkward, and I sometimes start to complain, and then I go, no, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. And when I say something that's wrong, I get a bonk on this eyebrow, and it physically hurts, so it's like, no. Most of the time when it's no, I just don't get the yes. That's much nicer.
That ought to teach you to say
but
the
every
wrong
once
thing.
in a while, they just go, boink. And I feel like it was just my dad that was controlling it, but now everybody, all the spirits that guide me, have control over my yes, no. Even your aunt.
Oh, I know.
Aunt Eleanor.
Oh, I know. That was so neat when we first met we first really started talking
party.
At a New Year's Eve party, actually. And
it was all spiritual healers.
Yeah, a lot of spiritual healers from Earth and Herbs in Prescott, Arizona. Yeah. When we want to give Angie a shout out for her great
in no
shop.
way do you want a bunch of psychics drinking or doing any kind of drugs and have a party.
It's not normal, you guys.
Need it
beyond reason, isn't it?
It was a great experience.
Yeah. So my Aunt Eleanor, my dad's sister, came to you.
Yes.
And you didn't even know, she didn't know anything about me.
I didn't know her at all. I know
nothing.
You have a spirit that wants to cuddle with you and get all cozy with you.
Yeah, it's my godmother.
And now she's adopted me as a niece.
Oh, I'm good with that. I'm not possessive.
She brings her yellow butterflies. Not the yellow and black ones, but just like
monarch.
Pure yellow butterflies.
And monarch too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's really neat, when you get around Claire, she'll pick up the people on the other side that are around you. It's really amazing because there is no death, y'all.
And they get me drunk, and they get me stoned, and and I'll feel stroke, in the head, and
yeah.
And that helps with evidence so that you know who's coming through.
Yeah.
So that's the mediumship.
Yeah. So.
And you when you do cards, you're not just, the card isn't speaking.
Right. So I get I decode. I'm a decoder. So I decode the meanings of everything around me. So, I mean, I've been given a reading, like an astrology reading, and I had thunder go off during a key point I was giving. And I'm like, see, Thor is with us, validating what I just said. So, yeah, I'll just pick up a card. And, I've studied the tarot, all kinds of other oracle cards, like in 2000
so I'm being called for you to do this card.
Okay, so that's the Three of Wands. So 3 is the number of creativity. Wands is spirit. It's fire. And so it's inspirational creativity. So we're here to help you all, just inspire you to move on into your life. And don't hesitate if you feel that urge or that pull to go in a certain direction. Definitely go for it and see how it unfolds for you when you feel that urge and you go after it.
Yeah, because a lot of people get creeped out by the cards and like it's some kind of witchcraft or something.
Yeah.
And then I'm a member of Quora and I answer lots of questions. And one of them came up saying,
Oh, you pulled that card again.
Again?
As hostilities.
Oh.
People that are hostile towards tarot or oracle cards. I gotta say this real quick. Well, okay, so I became a born-again Christian when I was a teenager.
I did not know that. We haven't known each other that long.
Surprise!
So we're learning, and we figured, let's find out who we are by going live and showing everyone.
So by the teaching of the churches or religion, they teach that divination cards are of the devil. And so I paid attention to that until I was about in my early 40s, and I was actually, I'm in sober recovery. I've been off of alcohol for over 30 years now. And so part of my spirituality, I was exploring different ways to grow closer to my creator. And so I started using the angel cards because angel cards, those are safe.
Yeah, and
so I was always scared of tarot.
Religions always talk about angels.
Right. And
they also
Bible.
talk about spirit, and they talk about all prophecy, and in the Bible they talk about, in Corinthians they talk about prophets and people who are given the gift of seeing. Right. And then in another part of the Bible they say we're all demonic and stuff. So
I have
gifts, you're not evil. Go ahead.
So I have a personal relationship with my creator, and I also bring Jesus into that as well. Once you accept Jesus, he's not going anywhere, okay? He's with us. And so I started using the tarot, and I had a friend who helped me with that, and I never felt like I was surrounding myself with demons or anything. No, if anything, I do house clearings, and I did my first house clearing when I was 18. So ever since then, Jesus is my friend and my guide and my master. And so I sat down just this past year, and I said,
I told you you'd be hitting the table. I saw it. And
I can't help it. And I said, okay, Jesus, I'm sitting here with my Mikyate Tarot, and please tell me if I am channeling demons when I cast these cards. And you know what I pulled was the Pisces card, and that is symbolic of Christianity and Jesus. So that's all I had to do. Okay, so that's it. No question right there. So no, it's your intention and who you call forth and who you talk to and who you rely on. So if you rely on your ancestors for help, they're not dead. They are alive.
Everlasting life. Do you ever hear that term? And I was raised Catholic and had a house full of poltergeists. And so I've always, every house I ever lived in had spirits in it. And then one of my friends goes, so have you ever considered that the reason every house you ever lived in has spirits is because you bring the spirits, or there's something to do with you? And I think that's when I realized I was a medium, because the term, it's just part of who I was, seeing spirits since 4. And so for me, I just thought everyone saw spirits walking around.
Yeah, a lot of people do that. Yeah. They think when they have a gift, like I've met people who say they have telepathy, and they always assume that everybody else could read their mind too.
Yeah, why don't you know what I'm thinking?
Yeah, because
we could get through the conversation so much faster if you could just read my mind like I'm reading yours.
Yeah, be careful, because Claire can read minds too. She can hear conversations that are going on in heads. Or was I not allowed to say that?
I don't care.
Okay, good.
It's who I am. It's time to come out of the psychic closet.
And, I can see why you have that ability, because you're so compassionate and non-judgmental, and you're so fun to debate with and argue with, So,
the cards are going to fall off the table.
A good debate, only if they're supposed to. And, I've done readings for people when a card outside and a card flies off in the wind. So I have to go pick it up and read it for whoever was present. And I've done that.
If you're playing with cards and one drops, you need to pay attention to that card.
So this is third chakra, and that's that solar plexus right here. And that is the area of Mars, and that's our life force and our will, our free will.
Strength, right?
Yeah, courage, strength, life
your power,
force.
where your power comes from.
Yeah.
And we are speaking our power for the first time
I
on
know,
video.
that's so awesome and so great.
Yeah.
So
We sure hope you're enjoying this.
yeah. So if any of you are curious about what we do and you want to experience a session with us, feel free to reach out.
While you still can, because at some point we'll get too busy.
Yeah, but we can always create waiting lists, can't we?
Yes, and we're thinking about doing some in-person events called Meet the Psychics. And right now we reside in Prescott, Arizona, also known as Prescott.
Yeah, you got to say Prescott, or else you're going to be considered an outsider.
So be sure to subscribe to our channel so that and hit the bell so that you receive all the updates. And you can, in the comments, reach out in the comments, and also we will be posting a website and locations where you can reach out to us and ask about our schedule or see our events.
Yeah, so this has been fun. Our first podcast.
Yeah. Did you like it? If you did, give it a thumbs up.
Yes.
Even if you didn't. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you're not.
I'm starving. Are you
It's
hungry?
been a pleasure. I think it's time to go visit the Indian restaurant.
So each week we're going to try to come up with a topic, and we have tons of them because of a dump from Spirit on things that they feel we should talk about and help people see how fluffy or
right.
how
Maybe we'd
normal
like
and
to hear
natural it is.
from the audience out there. Or maybe you have a topic you'd like us to discuss.
Yeah, feel free to suggest.
And we can tell you what we've experienced, what we know, who we know. So
And we look forward to getting to know you better and love you beyond reason.
Aho.
See you next time.
Be
Bye.
well.